This is part 5 of my journey to reach top global with Masha. And honestly, ever since I hit mythical glory, it's gotten way harder, to the point where I consider it lucky if I win even 2 games in a row. Mythical glory is the toughest rank of all. You'll get teammates who are just legend rank, while your enemies are all mythical glory players, former mythical immortals even. Sometimes they're still mythical immortal in their current rank. And then there's always some duo or trio in both teams. The problem? You often end up with the losing trio. Imagine getting matched with a trio and all 3 of them are dead weight. Meanwhile, the enemy trio is insanely strong and high rank. That's how unfair matchmaking is right now. Back in Epic or Legend, even if all my teammates were bad, I could still carry solo. In Mythic or Mythical Honor, I already need at least 1 strong teammate to help carry. You really can't solo carry anymore in those ranks. Or even if you don't have a strong teammate, as long as not all of them are a burden, the game won't feel like a 1v9. But once you add slow internet into the mix, it becomes even more frustrating. Most of the time, solo players perform better than trios. I haven't been carried by a single trio this season. I'm always the one carrying them. The only time I actually get carried is when I'm already at Mythical Immortal. I just hope trios become more responsible. If you're underperforming and the enemy trio is full of strong players, you're ruining the game for solo players. That's exactly why many of them quit. Like, you formed a trio so you could avoid getting bad random teammates, right? So why are you the ones playing worse and just relying on solo players to carry you? Once you're in Mythical Glory, you need more carriers than feeders. No matter how strong you are, the chance of carrying 4 teammates is super low. And it happens so often that Moonton gives you the worst teammates while the enemy gets the strong ones. It's really disappointing and honestly draining to play because the matchmaking is just that unfair. If you're strong and have a good win rate, Moonton balances it by matching you with low win rate or low rank teammates. In games like that, you're not allowed to make mistakes. One small error can have a huge impact, and sometimes, just 1 death is enough to end the game. Most of the time, I'm at a disadvantage in lane, but I'm still the one dominating. It always turns into a 1v2 for me, while my teammates are doing 4v3s and still getting wiped out. That's how bad my teammates usually are. I'm always the one adjusting, always ending up in EXP lane. But even when I adjust and do my absolute best, we still lose. And that's why sometimes I really just lose the motivation to play. Look at this. I killed the Hayabusa, then suddenly the enemies all showed up, so I got killed. Farsa's ultimate got burned. Then my teammates also came, but guess what? My teammates are the ones who'll end up wiped out. This keeps happening a lot so far this season. They collapsed. You can really tell there's no chemistry because they targeted different enemies. If it weren't for the turret, they wouldn't have even gotten a single kill. It's crazy. My games are always like this. Just think about how hard it is to carry teammates like this who are just relying on luck. In this game, the Lucas and Angela combo was really what made it hard for us. So once we burst down Lucas, the enemies had nothing left to do. That's exactly what I did in this match, and it actually worked really well. The enemies just start running away once we kill Lucas, and that's actually the good thing about it. A lot of players don't want to focus the tank because they're tanky, which is why they often lose team fights. The enemy tank still gets to set up. Our Alice just suddenly dives in and then just dies out of nowhere. But honestly, no matter what tank it is, you can burst them down as long as you're on the same page, and don't hold back on your skills. You need to do that so the enemy loses their frontliner and initiator. You don't always have to go for the marksman or jungler first, especially if they're hard to reach. I really struggled in this game too because it was hard to reach the enemies unless I waited for them in a bush. Though I still managed to help in this part since Brody hesitated to come closer. If I wasn't there, he definitely would have gotten a double kill. Look at this. I'm down to just 1 HP bar, but I didn't have time to go back to base because the enemy might suddenly take the Lord. So I just stacked up at the buff. If you remember what I said, you should have at least 2 HP bars before diving into a fight. Never ever go in with just 1 HP bar. I couldn't get to 3 this time since there wasn't enough time, and the jungle creeps were already gone. And did you see how Hayabusa died along with the Lord earlier? I repeated it several times, but I still don't know how he died. So the Lord made it to the mid lane, and it looks like the game is about to end since only 2 enemies are left to defend. Lucas even tried to buy time here, but he got burst down so easily. I was also surprised at how high the damage from my Sky Piercer was at that point.
Victory!
And my rank and MMR with Masha got stuck, because whenever I win one game, I lose the next, sometimes even 2 or 3 times in a row. It's so frustrating, all the effort I put into winning, only for it to be lost so easily because of that dark system. In this game, I had a trio as teammates, and the enemies also had a trio. But why is it like this? Our Julian is legend, and my other 2 teammates are mythic, but the enemies are all mythical glory and former mythical immortal players. Notice that our Julian was just circling around the turtle, not doing anything, and took so long to follow up, which allowed Hayabusa to escape. He only knows one combo. It's like I worked so hard to reach mythical glory to avoid teammates like this, but in the end, there's still no escape. Hayabusa had no shadow for more than 10 seconds, and that's more than enough time for Julian to burst down the turtle. I zoned out 2 enemies, but what did he do? He wasted his skills on the minions. Because of that, Hayabusa's shadow came off cooldown, and he ended up getting the turtle instead. And did you see that? He tried to hide in the bush, thinking the enemies wouldn't see him, even though they had vision there. And even though he was up against Hayabusa, he still only used one combo. And look at what he's about to do here. I think I'm done for. What do you think, guys? Should I keep playing after this game? Comment below your opinions on how bad the dark system is right now. In this game, I was up against Phobius, and I'm really at a big disadvantage against that hero. He's honestly one of the matchups I hate the most when I'm using Masha. But I still push myself to play well, so we at least have a chance to win. Even Florin and Melissa, I don't like going against them either. But despite all that, I can still manage. And we really do have a chance to win, even if all the enemy heroes are counters to me. It's just that my teammates are seriously clueless. And that trio I keep getting matched with, they're always awful. It's the solo player who ends up carrying them every time. I'm pretty sure Carmilla and Julian are a trio. They're both clueless and both feeding. I just don't know who their 3rd teammate is, but whoever it is, they're probably no better. I'm already doing everything. I'm taking out the ones giving them a hard time. But I don't know, it's still so hard to win. That's why you really have to respect solo players who manage to reach Mythical Immortal, especially here in the PH server. Carmilla and Julian have such terrible aim. Even with their huge skill hitboxes, they still can't hit anyone. And that Julian? He literally only knows one combo. He's been using the same one over and over the whole game, like he's married to it or something. I was able to kill Phobius, and Xavier even had to use Flicker just to take me down. But at least that gave my teammates some space since Xavier focused on me. The problem is, they can't capitalize on moments like that. Even in a 4v3 advantage, they still end up losing the fight. This Julian is just legend rank, and his highest is only mythic honor. So why is Moonton matching me against former immortals? It just doesn't make sense. So yeah, I won the first game, then lost the next one. I can barely experience winning 2 games in a row in mythical glory. But in this game I was dominating my lane matchup, so you can expect the expected. I was laning against Guinevere, which is a super favorable matchup for Masha. She can't burst me with her combo, and I can cancel her second skill cast with my ultimate, so she really doesn't stand a chance. So here, Fanny chatted and said we should kill Guinevere, so I dove in right away, thinking Fanny would take care of her if she escaped me. But turns out, I already killed her myself. So the turtle was up and the enemy already started it. Selena tried to zone us, but she ended up being the first to die. Tigreal had a really nice set here, though I feel like he didn't need to waste his flicker. But it's all good. I killed Joy, and we were able to secure the turtle. Guinevere was really thinking ahead here. She thought I was going to use my ultimate, and she actually predicted what I wouldn't do, since I didn't have my ultimate. I just taunted her a little here since she's been spamming emotes earlier. Then Cho came to the rescue. He even tried to freestyle in front of me. But to be fair, he knew exactly what he was doing. He knew when to kick me and when to run. Here, the tank set was good, and we managed to take down 2 enemies, and I was about to make it 3. But then, Cho stole the Lord from Fanny. Chu users are on a different level. They're just so good. So I got a triple kill there, and not long after, the game was pretty much over since our tank set up another great play. I was the only one available to follow up, but me is enough.